First off, cheers.
Cheers,
Thanks
brother.
for being here.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you coming out.
Thank you for having me.
I've been pretty excited for
Yeah?
this. Yeah.
Okay.
Just been stoked to pick your brain, and I'm kind of at the ground level of making artwork, and and just want to see your perspective.
Okay.
So I noticed you don't have a website.
Yep.
You don't have, like, Instagram is your main thing.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Is that how you sell all your artwork? Is Instagram?
Yes. So when I first started, I've been doing this 7 years. So when I first started, up until like maybe year 3, I had a website. Excuse me. I had a website, and every time I would run into a potential collector or someone, they would always go, "Oh, what's your Instagram?" And I'm like, "Oh, I have a website too." And I started noticing the traction I was getting was coming mostly from Instagram and no traction from a website.
Right.
And even though it had pricing on the website, it was a really good website, and it was done by this really nice guy that I know, and he funded my website for like 3 years basically. And then I was like, wait a minute, why the fuck do I have a website?
Yeah.
If all my traction is coming through Instagram, and then I'm gonna have to start paying for it, and I'm like, I'm more than any other artist as far as I make consistent money, but when those valleys are deep valleys before the peak, I need to be able to conserve my cash to pay rent, take care of my dogs, all that stuff. So I was like, wait a minute, why do I have a website? I might as well just dead this, because if there's a pie chart, it's like all Instagram, and then like 2% of inquiries come from my website, and then whatever else comes from word of mouth.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, you know what? Let's just nix this. And I did. And I have never looked back. It's been fun. So,
interesting.
yeah.
What about pricing? Because pricing with art is so subjective, and
it is.
You can,
it is.
You want to sell art, but you don't want to devalue your shit either.
Correct.
You want to.
Correct.
It's this fine line. You kind of have to figure out, like, where do you price it? I want to be up where I need to be, but I also want to sell some stuff. I want it to move.
Correct.
So
correct.
How do you work that out?
So the ultimate goal of an artist, and I'm gonna speak as a blanketed, whatever for all the artists.
Sure.
The goal of the artist is to get what you feel your work is worth, and to make a living. That whole starving artist thing is bullshit. I don't subscribe to that. I'm trying to change the narrative of that. By everybody goes left, I go right. They go right, I go left. I had some collectors come to my house many moons ago, and they were talking to me about, hey, how much is this piece? How much is this piece? And I literally had my artwork propped on couches off of Ross Avenue in Dallas with my girlfriend at the time, and I had no fucking clue what I was doing. This is like year 2.
Yeah.
And nice enough people own a very prestigious gallery at the Crescent Hotel, and she was asking me, they came in their Beamer, very brand new Beamer, and asked me, like, how do you price everything? And I said, well, that's $5,000, that's $10,000, that's 15. And I was just fucking talking out of my ass. At this point, I only sold a piece for like $1,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was my biggest bag. And she goes, Sal, how do you price your work? And I go, it's because I feel that's what I'm worth. And of course, my voice was shaking and shit. Yeah. And I was like, that's what I feel like I'm worth.
Yeah.
And but I meant it. And she goes, well, Sal, how it works is usually, it's what the collectors will pay for it. And on top of that, the time and she goes, and this is her words, I'm paraphrasing, but this is her words. She said, it's not, the collector wants to know you're not going to stop and go work for Walmart or Starbucks. Yeah. No offense to anybody who works there.
They'll lose value in the
Correct. They want to know you're not going to give up. They want to know you're not only they're going to be valued, whatever they're paying for is going to be worth more because somebody else can buy it for more later. They want to know you're going to do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So artists really need to come to grips of what their worth is in their brain, stick to those guns. Yes, it sucks because you have to pay bills, and I've been guilty of this too, and I will be very honest. I have done like we'll do a deal because it's an extra $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever.
Sure.
And I know how long it took me. We talked about this, how long it took me to do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll relinquish this one.
How long it took you to do it? In the supplies. It's
in the supplies.
Cheap.
Yes.
It's expensive.
And I also look at it too, though, like I'm making a deal right now for $2,500. Most people don't make that in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this was 3 years ago. This is not now. So as an artist, I think we should learn and understand what our value is and kind of gauge it off of like, okay, I'm not going to go below this. Cause I have a
you got a new minimum.
Right. Of what I won't go below. If that answers your question.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Okay. I still don't know where to price my artwork. What would you price my pieces at?
I mean, people do it. They get very technical about it. They'll do like per square inch. Really? And then they'll go whatever, what is that, 36 by 36?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just ballparking it because I can kind of tell. So they'll be like, okay, well, each per square inch is this. So we're going to charge you, it's okay. If you're at $1,500, that means per square inch is like $1.50 or whatever. I'm not good. I'm making this all up. That's so crazy. They make it into fucking Wall Street and I hate it. Yeah. I base it off of like, what would you pay for that? You know what I mean? Because for me, I'd be like, okay, I want this for that. And you stick to those guns over time. People might not pay that much for it now, but people will pay for that later. Because my artwork, I've had one guy that represented me back in the day. And this is when I first started, like year 3. He goes, Sal, you're the only one that asks for what he wants for an art piece and gets it. Because I was throwing those fucking numbers out there. Now, granted, I've had people go, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $1,500 cash right now. And then you come to my bar and I'll get your tab for 6 months.
Sure.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. Because they find value in something that anybody can do. You know what I mean? You've got great color. I can see where your strengths are. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're still finding your voice. I don't know how long you've been doing it, no offense. But you know what I mean? Like, and for me, it's like, I just was like, I'm going to fucking do this. I didn't know how I was going to do it. But in my head, I was like, I'm going to do something great with this and leave a legacy. The money is just a small part of it. Right. It's the legacy. Yeah. I want to be, there's that line, who's the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas? You know what I mean? Who's the best artist? Right. I'm either one or top 3. Yeah. That's where I want to go down. But to what we were talking about initially, like, the artist needs to understand. Don't do that. I would suggest don't do the square footage stuff. That's corporate crap. I don't like that.
Come up with a number and stick to it.
Come up with a number. And I just told my last artist that I closed this big deal with, I said, all my artwork is like my children. I love them all, but some I'm more prouder of than others. For sure. Yeah. It's the truth.
That's the way it goes.
And I think any parent will tell you the same thing. Like, I love all my kids the same, but hey, have you talked to Tommy, man, he's fucking doing it, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say that, you're not saying you don't love your other kids less. It's just, hey, this is my son and my daughter or whatever. She's really kicking ass. She's going to Harvard, man. She makes me so proud. Like, my mother talks about me a little bit more than my sister,
Oh, really?
A little bit more, I can tell. But whatever, it is what it is. But my point is all the artwork is like your children. Like, you should love them all and give them all respect. But like, there's certain ones, like I've had pieces, I'm like, give me 50 grand for that without blinking an eye. Yeah, and people are like, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, that's cool, then I'll fucking keep it. Kiss my ass. You know what I mean? I'll just keep it, I don't care. Right. It's gonna be 100,000 in 10 years. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Do you think that because of your style is very, to me, it's very Basquiat-esque. Very...
Thank you.
Expressive, and there's a lot of faces. I feel like that's kind of, a lot of faces. I think that's kind of like people value that artwork more. That style, I mean, not that artwork, but
no. I know what you mean. Basquiat's my North Star. There's no doubting that. I love that man. He's half Puerto Rican like me. Afro Latino. A lot of people call him. I'm gonna make this very clear. A lot of people call him a black artist. He's not an American black artist. He's an Afro-Latino. There's a difference. Just to get that clear. But yes, he is my North Star, and I'm very proud that people compare my artwork with him. When I first started, I wanted to be him. That was a big mistake.
He's a heavy influence.
Yeah. It's like, Kobe had that Michael Jordan fadeaway.
Sure.
People would compare him to Michael until all of a sudden he was Black Mamba.
Right. He became his own thing.
Yes.
But he portrayed Michael until he became his own thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And he had that fadeaway jump like Michael did. To me, that's me. I'm Black Mamba art world because I'm obsessed. I'm passionate. I'm taking. Bruce Lee said it: take what is useful, discard what is not, and infuse what is uniquely your own.
Right.
And that's exactly what I feel that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because Kobe could have been having that Michael shadow his whole career, but
sure,
it's different now.
He could have lived in that space, but he wanted to make
Correct.
his own.
And he had that fadeaway jumper like Michael.
Yeah.
He perfected it. And I was like, damn, that's dope. Because at first I was like, this kid's like Michael. And then after a while, I was like, Black Mamba.
Yeah. He became his own thing.
Yeah, man. So, but no, I think.
So I think what I'm asking
Go ahead,
is,
yeah, I'm sorry.
I feel, if you put kind of faces into your work, people almost value it more.
That's interesting. I never thought about it like that. I think that hip hop definitely made Basquiat very
sure. He became
like
pop
mainstream.
culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now people don't know, but he's in Mac or whatever, and like on some makeup kit. I think Coach did a thing. I hope they paid his estate with his family. I hope they took care of his family. But he's totally mainstream. People won't know the artist, but they know the style.
Yeah.
And I think there's something about that New York graffiti style that, I mean, that shit resonates with everybody.
To me, he I know he started with like graffiti style, Samo stuff and
Samo, very good. Yeah.
But it was almost like he just created like a child would. Just completely expressed himself.
Yeah.
And there was no thoughts about anything. Some people could look at that and go, that's...
My little kid can do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's bullshit.
Yeah, but your little kid isn't selling.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
They can do that. Stick it on your fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
So I think that's, I don't know, that's just a hang up I was thinking about.
No, so art is subjective. So people, they'll say I can do that, but you're fucking not.
Right.
Then don't do it.
Then do it.
Go ahead. Try it.
One. Yeah.
Do it 7 years. Be homeless for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
See how that works out for you. You still want it? You know what I'm saying? There is a guy before Basquiat, which is funny, because Basquiat, they say, stole his style from this guy named Ron LZ. Ron LZ was Basquiat's right-hand guy when he made it.
Oh,
but
really?
Ron LZ was a Puerto Rican cat from New York who had that style, and Basquiat took that style and made it famous.
Made it his own. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. Nothing's new. There's nothing new under the sun.
No, of course not.
I
mean, good artist copy, great artist steal. So,
I always used to say all the time. Yeah. You're good. You're very good, man. Damn. Hell yeah, brother. I met my match. Shit. Don't take the belt.
Just bust out a stone cold stomach.
Yeah, dude. I guess you got your, don't pull out another Miller Lite and start hitting it together, man. No, but I think there's something to the energy of the colors. And I notice that a lot about me. I do a lot of fucking faces. And I try to switch it up, but like we were talking about earlier, I'm not trying to do something that people will want to buy. I want to do something that like I want to do it. Yeah. And if it sells, it sells. And in a weird way, the counterintuitive of all of that has brought me just good success. If you could do anything and get paid for what you love to do, you're winning. Yeah. And it's not enough for me. I have a huge chip on my shoulder, but for me, I have to smell the roses every once in a while. Not everybody needs to smell the roses. You know what I mean? Just take a minute, take a beat, thank the gods, universe, whoever you believe in, Allah, and say thank you, because there's something's listening. I always say that all the time. But with that electricity of the Basquiat style, there's something about that because it's mainstream and it resonates with a lot of serious collectors and to a lot of just, kids who grew up on Jay-Z and shit.
Yeah, everyday people.
So they're like, oh, we've heard Basquiat in a rap lyric, but they know the look and they like it because they see it on clothes, they see it on shoes, they see it on bags, they see it on makeup.
It's very distinct.
Yeah.
You can notice his work.
For sure. And there's a lot of street artists or graffiti artists, whatever you want to call them, contemporary artists, that have that. You can tell they're inspired by him. So, including me.
Yeah. Have you ever, sometimes when I'm painting, I will be in love with the piece. You're like, I'm the shit. I'm so good at this. And then I'll do something else and completely ruin it. Have you done that?
Fair play.
Have you done that?
Fair play. I would say yes. However,
I'll put this little extra, either this color or this style, and
yes.
I'm like, I hate this. I never want to look at it again. It's
I think a
so
little. I
disheartening.
want to say a little bit of that is you being in your own head, if I may say so.
For sure.
There's two people that I always, when I feel that way, I refer to these two people. One of them is my sister. She would always say, you know, great artists know when to stop, right? That's one. But then Alec Monopoly, who's very well known in the art world, he said something on one of his YouTube channels that I just kind of was creeping on and looking at, like, what's he doing? What's this motherfucker doing? And he said that there are no mistakes in art. And I like that better.
I like that too. And I try and keep that kind of in the forefront. Like, you know, when I first started, I wanted to make stuff that everyone's going to like. But it's not honest art. The honest art gets the most appreciation.
Yes.
You make it from your heart. You just, you know, I don't give a fuck what they think.
For sure.
I'm just going to make what I'm feeling, what I like.
Yeah.
And whoever likes it will like it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a huge thing that I think people have to overcome.
No, yeah. No, it is. And that to me is the number one thing, because there's so many people that when they ask me like what I do, and I'll tell them I'm an artist, they're like, oh, tattoo artist. I'm like, no, I paint for a living. And they're like, okay, cool. And I try not to be like, yeah, I paint for a living. Like, I'm hot shit. I'm not. Yeah. I'm just a regular dude. I just do what I love. And I just was like, no, I paint for a living. And they're like, oh, cool. And then they start talking to me about like, oh, I paint or I draw. I get worried about like what I'm gonna do next or da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you're in your own way. Like, that's why I drink a little bit. I'll listen to a podcast. I'll have like a film on the TV that inspires me, like just some movie that I really like. For sure. Like, I'm gonna go see Across the Spider-Verse on Saturday. That's an investment for me, because creatively, Joe Rogan said it, that there was I forget who said it. I think one of the Beatles or something. I think it was Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney, sorry. Yeah. He said, in order to entertain, you have to be entertained. So sometimes you have to step out and get creatively entertained by something, whether it be a podcast or a movie or whatever.
I get that a lot. Sometimes I'll watch something or see some other artists. And I'm like, have a completely new idea.
Yeah, dude. That's real.
Ready to rock and roll.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. You can't just keep pushing. You can't push. Right. You have to like sometimes chill, take a beat, go watch a movie, go hang out, go talk to your friends or whatever. If you have creative friends, or go have a drink with them, or, you know what I mean, like listen to a podcast or whatever. Just do something to creatively stimulate yourself. Go see a fucking concert.
I'm not going to love every piece I make. I got to burn a few off sometimes to make the one I absolutely love.
That is called the Muse.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
I have, yeah.
Stephen Pressfield?
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Talks about the Muse. I had this conversation with somebody just the other day, and they go like, oh, I didn't want to work on art today. I go, you know how many times I don't want to work on art sometimes? I just want to fucking watch Netflix and hang out with my dogs and do fuck all. Yeah. And I'm like, am I cursing too much?
No.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, but I'm like, what happens is the Muse will show up. I did 3 garbage ass, in my opinion, I still love them, garbage ass pieces where I was just like, I was showing my chickie and I was like, what do you think? She's like, yeah, not my favorite. I did 3 of them in 2 days. And then I came up with the CIA killed JFK piece. Yeah. And that was
with Donald Trump on it?
No. It's John F. Kennedy.
That's Kennedy?
That's JFK. Yeah, okay. I don't draw, dude. It's my rendition of JFK. It's the hairstyle though. Trump. Yeah, I know. I get that a lot. I'm like, no, it's not T-Dog. That's JFK, number 35, dude. Yeah. No, but that's one of my favorite pieces. And it doesn't, like, it to me, it looks like him because it's my rendition and I draw like weird eyes and stuff. But the guy who bought it in a package deal. And I just did that because I loved it. And I got offers hand over fist from people that are like either from Dallas or like they're into that. Like they saw the Oliver Stone documentary that he just came out, which was fucking awesome. But I did that for me. I didn't do that for nobody else. And ask me how many times I painted a president. One other time, it was a commission. Yeah. And I didn't want to do it. But I did it because I did it in my style. Yeah. Because I did it for me. You know? So interesting. Anyway, yeah, man. Yeah. But yeah, the doubting and the stuff, that will kill you as an artist.
Absolutely.
You know? It'll be, that's why people don't do it full time. They get in their own way, they get in their own head. I'm ground zero for that.
Yeah.
I have to coach myself. You
figured it out.
For sure. I have to coach myself through that shit. Because I'm like, if you want to be the baddest that's ever done it, you will not give a fuck.
Right. That's the key.
Yeah.
Just not give a fuck at every moment. Just create.
Life is pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You have to cut those promos, dude. You have to.
For sure.
Ric Flair probably felt like a stupid ass. He probably felt like a dumbass every time he cut those promos, but those promos are legendary. Absolutely. To where college football stars are professional football stars are reciting them in the locker rooms.
Yeah.
And he was not that great of a wrestler.
No, but he's the man.
He was the man.
Everything you were invested in.
Yes. He
was the man.
So, you know, yeah, man. Wild shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite artists?
Basquiat.
Of course.
There's my homeboy, Alec De Jesus. I love him because he's a good human and he's a bad motherfucker. He and I are totally different styles, but bad motherfucker. Like, he's so good. I think that's it for now.
Did you ever write graffiti?
No.
No?
That's why when people call me a graffiti artist, I'm like, I respect graffiti artists too much. Yeah. You can't call me a graffiti artist. Did you ever try? No.
No?
No. See, being Puerto Rican Mexican, you'd think I'd do some outlaw shit. I didn't. I kept it purely on canvas. Yeah. Mommy and daddy raised a good boy, I guess.
Right. I mean, I tried. I'm so in love with graffiti. That's my favorite.
Hell yeah, dude.
But it's not something I can do.
Yeah.
So I'm just, making what I can.
Dude, that's art though.
Yeah.
Everybody in life does a form of art. You know what I mean? And then some people actually paint, and you're actually painting, and you got to do what, I'm horse of a different color. I do the polar opposite of what artists are supposed to do.
Right.
But it's worked for me, and I'm not doing it because it's a gimmick. It's me. I'm not a grifter or whatever they call that.
Yeah.
But I respect every artist equally. I'm in competition with all of you, even my boy Alec. Yeah. I love him very much, but I'm like, fuck you, dude. Yeah. But congratulations. You know what I mean? But he knows it's with love. I give him a hug. I'm like, man, fuck you, dude. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm coming for your ass, dude. You know what I mean? But you gotta find your thing, man. And I think you're on a good path. I think you're on a good path. And you told me, you spend some coin on it. I think you should just keep going, man. And don't be afraid to paint over anything.
No, I mean if
you feel it, you feel it.
I have a closet full of like 50 canvases.
Jesus.
They're just piling up.
You want to offload any of those, let me know.
They're just piling up, so, just figuring out stuff and seeing what I like, what I don't like. And because this style, I painted other things. I was doing panels for a while, but this style I've really only been doing since like December.
No shit.
This is very new.
Really?
But I've been so obsessed and just every night.
Dude, that's great.
Every night.
There you go. Yeah. You're on the right path, brother.
Yeah.
That's awesome. See, that's the thing too. Like when I was living in South Lake many moons ago in the beginning, year basically 2, my chick, I would get up and like 3 a.m. because something hit me. Yeah. And I was just like, I gotta work. I gotta do something and I would be out there for like 3 or 4 hours. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of obsession you need to move in the direction that you want to go. Mm-hmm. Now, the universe, and it's going to sound like woo-woo bullshit, but the universe will tell you based on, the outcome later down in life. But if you love it, fuck it, man. Just do it. If you want to do it, just do it, man. I don't care. People like building cars and cruising in them.
I don't care if it never turns into anything.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's for me. That's how I fell into my shit. I was like, I don't care if I make money.
Where I disappear and separate from my mind.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's life.
Yep.
Should be life. And money's great. You gotta make a living, but you definitely stick with this, man. I still have a day job. So, hey man, like I said, I'm a horse of a different color. I'm very blessed. I've had nothing but great individuals to give me a leg up to where they're like, I believe in what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You paint, I'll work. Mm. Basquiat, be careful what you say and what you think, because I always said I'm the new Basquiat to any girl I was with, and then they found out who he was. And then it turns out he would always just live with his girlfriends. Mm-hmm. And when he would make money, he'd make money.
Right.
And that's my life right now. It's weird. I only have the one girlfriend, but you know what I'm saying?
Right. All right, man. Well, let's go paint a canvas and
Cool.
see what we can come up with.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
You're very kind. I like your vibe, dude.
Thank you.
But also,
I appreciate that.
if you want to be the man, you gotta beat the man. All right, that's it. That's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
That was.
Hell yeah.
I had to do the Ric Flair
dope.
promo, dude. Sorry.
I got so much on my plate, you know I can't wait.